Hello everyone, thank you for joining this webinar. Today we'll entertain you with the maintenance requests, which is one of the many webinars around a deeper dive into Dynaway EAM for Business Central, and today is the 18th of May, so we will cover this subject. With me today I have Christoph. Christoph is our team lead and he is our product expert, so he'll take you through the concept of the presentation today. I'm here to answer any questions you may have, so I'll be his wingman. So please use the chat in case you do have any questions. Just before we leave the stage to Christoph, I want to say that maintenance request is a separate app, so you'll find it as an extension on AppSource. It is priced in a way that it's for free. So you can see that the app itself is for free if you're using Dynaway EAM, and everyone who has a BC license can go and request maintenance, but Christoph will take you through that as well. So Christoph, I'll hand it over to you.
Thank you, Mika. Yeah, so maybe just to be very clear with that, what Mika said, everyone who has access to Business Central, also through the API, can create a maintenance request with our module. Right? We don't require additional license from our side. Of course, such a person need to have access to Business Central to create a request. You just to see everything what I'm showing today, you just need to download the extension, and as Mika said, it's free if you are using any of our paid plans already. So even if you have one paid user, you can use also the Dynaway requests. So what is all about the maintenance request? We know that something can go wrong in the organization, and then you need to have a request to fix something, or any other request, in fact, what is which you need to send to the maintenance team. So you can create a request separately from the request module. You can also create a request directly from the asset tree if you are on the in the Dynaway. So if I will go just to any of my assets, and I will have options to register the request from here. And to be honest, this is one option which we added for one of our customers because they required this one from create the request from here. But if you are using also our extension for the manufacturing companies, you can create a request directly from the work center, machine center, and also from production order. So that's also possible if it's needed. You can also see on my role center asset manager, I will have a new queues here. So I can see how many I have new requests, how many I have open, how many are unassigned, and also which are assigned to me, and also asset technicians will see similar but opposite way. So what is assigned to me. So how to create requests? Let's go from one side, which I would like to show you is just to go to the requests and click the button create a request. And you can see that I have a very similar thing as an asset tree, but I would call it a request group tree. So each in each company you can set up a request groups, and you can see that I have the groups. I can build the hierarchy of the groups, so I have mixers, and I also have a mixer parts if I need, and I can assign some assets to this group, right? So that's also possible. It is possible to create a maintenance request not for the exact asset, because maybe someone doesn't know the asset when creating the request, but also you can create it for the group, right? On this view, you can also hide the groups which are not assigned to the specific person. So, for example, if you have some assets in one place and only you want to limit it to those people which are creating requests only for the assets which are in this particular location, you can do it with assigning the groups to this to the exact person. So this is one place where you can create the request. And as I also mentioned, you can create them from the asset tree directly. And to be honest, I really like this this way also to create the request. The process later looks exactly the same wherever we clicking create a request. So you see a small wizard how to fill the request, and you need to specify the request type, and this is the dictionary which you can set up in the organization, and that can be something which you can do during the implementation. So I have, in this case, I have only two. I have just noise and setup tools, but you can create, as I said, many others if needed. You can also see that you can put the default assign to person or assign the group. So this is the groups which we have on the maintenance employees, and then this is assigned to a specific group. Or you can have a flow that one person is dispatching later the request to the exact people, right, or to the exact groups. And in this case, for example, you can set up specific person to whom the request will be assigned after creating. So let me just choose that there is a noise in this lamp. I need also to put the description. So too much noise, please fix it. And I can just create a request. As you can see, I have already the number, so someone already know what is the number. He can put the details here, like when walk by, I heard the noise. So that's what we also can do, but imagine that I'm not doing it from my desktop, but I'm doing it from my phone or from my tablet, wherever, but probably you are not working with the tablets, but with the phone, so you can take pictures automatically as well. And in this case, it will be picture of me, but you can have many pictures for the request, so someone can just put it from the phone, or you can also upload the file for the request, and then maintenance team will be able to have more information about it. So I will click finish, and now what's happening, in fact, in the queues I will see that I have more requests, but you can also set up the system that it's sending the email to the people which are involved in the request. And when I'm talking just the email came to me, right? And you can see that there is a request, and what is the number, what is the description. I have also the direct link to it, so I can just click it, and I have all information about my request. If I would have for the same asset other open request, I would also see it here. So I can click it and just go and use it. For that, of course, you need to set up emails in Business Central to be able to do it, but you also can go to maintenance requests setup, and set up that you need the notification email. And this, what I also would like to say to the partners, if there is need to extend this with, for example, Teams message or whatever else is needed, this is very easy to extend, and you can just add a new options here. But when we have email, we need to do a little setup. So we need to say what is the default recipient email. You can see my email here, and you can also see when we are sending the emails. By default, we getting this setup. So whenever I create an email, the person assigned to it is informed and get an email, or it is sent to the default recipient if there is no email, no person assigned. The same, you can see the notify requester, and this is when someone who requested it will get an email when, for example, status will change, or when requested type will change. You can also assign the emails to the specific maintenance employee groups. So, for example, if there is some inspection, please send it to this share mailbox. If it's the electrical issue, please send it to other mailbox. And how the emails look like, you can also set up it here. So you can create a new message body, or you can just use our predefined, also with some subjects. So if you would like to add additional subject to email, you can set up it here. What I also set up, one of the things is that I have initial status new, so my request status will be new when it's created. So let's go to my request and let's see how it's look like. So you can see that my status is new. The priority by default has been added to low. My request type is noise. You can see that it's requested by Martin Woods. Unfortunately, I have only one user here, so I will assign it also to Martin Woods. And you can see that I created the asset, and the asset is number 26. This view, what I should say, little different looks for the maintenance team and also for the requesters. Requesters cannot modify the header and request priority, request type, and so on. They are tied to what was set up, what was added. But maintenance team, as I'm right now, can change those things. So only the maintenance team can, for example, change the request type because someone made a mistake, or change asset number because also someone made a mistake. But both of teams can, so requesters and also the maintenance team can add the comments, and they can modify only their comments. So we working on it, and it will be done ASAP. Right, so I can add the comment, and from that moment only I can edit this comment. I can also see when it was added. But of course, if we are starting to work on it, it would be nice to change the status. So me as a maintenance team, I can choose those statuses, right? I can choose that, okay, it is in progress, or I can say that I'm waiting for requester because we need to clarify something, or whatever else. This list is also something which during the implementation you can modify, you can add it to your own statuses, and you can define who is responsible for the status. So it means which party can modify to this particular status. So me as a maintenance team, I can set up it as a cancelled or closed, but for example, requesters are not able to set up it as closed because they have different statuses. Right, so I will just change it to in progress. So we are ready, we start working on it. What else we can do here? We can create a work orders, right? So I can directly from here create a work order. It's automatically for this asset, but you can create for any asset it is, because basically it may happen that one request requires work on 5 different work assets, right? So change the path of the lamp. And I just will specify the category, so lamp change, for example, and I will just create a work order here. And you can see that my work order is created. It is related to my plan maintenance request. It's not finished yet, right? So that's something which we see when it is planned. So we can assume that it will be done soon. And here you can, your process in the organization or your customer's process can be that when we create a work order, we closing the request, we think it's finished. So we are not blocking here closing the request, even if the work order is not finished. But of course, that's something which you also can have a little different process when you have that you cannot close the maintenance request if you will not close the work order. That's also fine. But what you can see that we have who closed the order, we know when it was closed, and we tracking also how long it took. So we see that, okay, from opening the request to closing the request, I was talking 8 minutes to show you all of that. Right, so this is what you can do. You can also see later in the history, if when you post the work order, finish the work order, what were the maintenance parts, resources, expenses which we took to close this request, so we can find what were the cost of the request. And we also can see that, okay, what were the failures, why we needed this request, what was happening. So in very short, this is how the request look like, how you working with it, and when it's closed, someone just also will get an email that we finish it. Thank you very much, and we will that's done. There are two charts which we have. Which can help you just very briefly to show you the statistic about the report, about the request without going to the Power BI, but you also are able to create a Power BI report. But you can see that I have maintenance request duration per type in the last year. So I can see how long it takes in hours to close the request related to noise, and how much it takes to close the request related to duration. And the last thing is, which we also sometimes heard, that okay, can I reopen the request? And yes, if you set everything to be able to reopen the request. So I can at this moment can change the status back, for example, to in progress, because I just make a mistake. But in the request setup, you have information how long it means to reopen the request. So I can reopen this request only for the next 2 days, not later. But if I will change it to 0, and now if I will close it, so I will change the status to close, and I don't know if I need to refresh. I don't need to, I cannot reopen the maintenance request anymore. So that was all from my side, and back to you, Mikko.
Thank you, Christoph. Like mentioned, it's a fantastic part of our product portfolio. I hope this gave you a short insight to how it actually works and how it could help your organization for asset management. Like shown here on the screen, this was part of a series of webinars of 20 minutes each. You can find them on the website. If you go to dynaway.com, there's a section with Business Central. If you click that, you'll see under resources, there is a video library, or you can steal the URL like shown here on the screen. So all of these on the screen, they are on demand. If we take the next one here, We have 2 more coming up. Of course, we are planning to fill the list with even further topics. So if you have something you want us to tell about, get back in touch. But these are the 2 upcoming ones for next week and the week after. So that was 20 minutes for today. I want to thank you all for participating, and we look forward to seeing you soon again. Have a fantastic day. Bye-bye.